Hey guys! In this last video of Section 2, we'll be reviewing outputs and results of our previously trained classifier. In this video, we'll see how the trained system can be evaluated using a test set with known labels. We'll calculate the test set accuracy. In this block of code, the test steps variable stores the size of the batch that'll be calculated, which fairly divides the testing dataset into relatively smaller batches for training. The test skipped images variable will keep the index of pictures that were selected as corrupted and were not part of the training data. The total test checked variable will keep a record of how many testing pictures have been processed. We'll keep a record of how many testing pictures have been processed. And the test correct sum variable will keep index of how many predictions out of the testing dataset turned out to be correct. The loop will check if the test batch step variable, which stores the index that the number of the batch being calculated, is still valid. The test offset variable will identify the number of batched that are queued for execution and from which point the testing should be resumed. This block loads the test dataset, the data labels, and adds up the number of images that were skipped because of corruption. Along with that, the resolution of the image is mentioned in the test image shape variable, and the image depth variable shows the depth of the image between 0 and 255. Finally, the total number of the skipped images is added up at the end of training each batch, so the total number of corrupted images can be found out. Total test checked variable records how many images were tested out of all the images tested. After that, the dictionary is fed to the classifier that can identify the key that points to a specific class. The test correct sum variable finds out how many predictions in the testing of the dataset turned out to be correct. The bottom line is what we're seeking, a percentage accuracy, to estimate the overall correctness of the classifier. In this video, we'll see how the trained system could be evaluated using a test set with known labels. We appreciated the rationale behind cordoning off the test set for this very step. Section 2 covered the building and execution of our first classifier from start to finish. We started with an exploration of our dataset, then automated a pipeline feeding our dataset into the trainer automatically. We then explored how images are represented internally and saw how these images flowed into the machine learning lifecycle. Finally, we evaluated our trained network by comparing against a test set we had kept for independent testing. The next section will cover the TensorFlow toolbox, specifically Graph Explorer, events, and histogram views.